let me ask that question again. Is anybody having any problems with their plant project? Terry, your plant grows best in the dark.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, right, that when a plant starts off, it doesn't really need sunlight, okay? Let me try to explain, okay? So everything a plant needs, right, is in that seed, okay? When the seed grows, the plant will grow, okay? But a plant will need sunlight in order to make food. Now, what you will see is that, yes, okay, the plant in darkness will grow, say, this big, okay? But a plant in sunlight will grow that big. It'll grow bigger because it gets more food. But I'm not saying that the plant won't grow. Okay, you know what? Because this is a fantastic and interesting experiment, what you can do is still try it anyway, and let's measure the results. Let's see what happens, okay? Yes, Hun, I got your email. They're fine. Looks good. Okay, good job. Okay, so I am not going to give you any homework this weekend. What I want you to do is I want you to work on the homework that I set this week. I won't give you anything new. Do your best to, thanks Noob, you don't need to share your screen, thank you. Do your best to try get your plant project set up. Don't forget to draw the table as well, because you need to start measuring the results, especially when you start seeing some growth as well. So take time this weekend, get all your materials, get yourself set up and good to go. What I'm gonna get you to do is I'm gonna get you to guess the names of some animals. Yesterday we started looking at how living things, they need each other, okay? They rely and depend. We're going to look at this word a lot today. We're going to look at the word depend. Depend on each other in order to survive. So what I want you to do is think about this. Imagine you have a goldfish. You already have a goldfish? Awesome. If you don't have a goldfish, I'm very sorry. But if you do have one, or if you would like to have one, imagine that you do have one. And then what I want you to do is imagine you get a little plant. You put the plant into the goldfish tank. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the goldfish is going to do? Pumpkin.
Eat it.
You're going to eat it? Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're going to eat it. I don't know. I don't know if goldfish like plants. I've never spoke to a goldfish before. Not deliberately anyway. Think about, what do you see? What do you see fish do? They hide in behind it, right? Fish like to hide behind things. So what the fish will probably do is they will use the plant to hide or for somewhere to go. I went to an aquarium in Amsterdam about 10 years ago, and at one point in the aquarium there's a fish spinning around a circle, going in and around this plant, up again and again and again and again and again. The fish was having fun with the plant. What it was actually doing was using it as shelter, okay? This is something that fish do quite often. They do it with rocks, they do it with plants. They use these things as shelter. So the reason I'm asking you to think like this and to think about something like this again is because this nature, this behavior of fish or living things interacting with other living things happens all of the time. So what about a frog, right? Think about a frog. What living things do frogs interact with, and how do they use them? You were drawing a frog. What do you always draw a frog sitting on? Winter.
Lily.
Yeah, a lily. You always draw a frog sitting on a lily pad, right? Whenever you draw a frog, you always draw a frog sitting on Lily. Not on Lily, but on a lily pad, right? I've never seen Lily with a frog on her head.
Yes.
So there is another way in which a living thing
Yes.
is now interacting with a non-living thing, or another living thing, right? The frog sits on the lily pad and eats flies. It doesn't sit on Lily. That'd be really strange. But it's a way that an animal uses another living thing in order to survive. What about a bird? What living thing does a bird use or need even? Need. Where do birds live? Lucy, where do birds live?
Bird live in the tree.
A bird lives in a tree. A bird lives in a living thing called a tree. There we go. There we have another way that a living thing interacts with another living thing and it lives there, right? What about a bee? What does a bee, what living thing does a bee need and work with all the time? Rosie, where do bees get their food to make honey?
Pollen.
Pollen, yeah. Where does pollen come from?
Pollen comes from flower.
There we go. So a bee, a living thing, needs a flower, another living thing, to get the food that it needs, right? There we go. We have another living thing needing another living thing. And then last one. What about alligator, a bird? Look at that picture. There's an alligator right there. You don't really see them. What does an alligator need? What living things does an alligator need to survive?
Alligator needs water to survive, needs food to survive. Oh, the alligator needs water.
Water, but what living thing? Living, alive.
Needs food.
Food, yeah. So it needs other animals. So again, you have another situation of a living thing needing another living thing in order to survive. It's called depending, okay? If I said these animals depend on other living things, what does this word mean? What does depend mean? Sorry, what does depend mean? What does that word mean? I said that a bee depends on a flower for food. What do you think the word depend means? Okay, depend means rely on or need, right? So, okay, again, depend means to like rely on, to need, okay? A bee needs a flower for food. A bird needs a tree for shelter. A frog needs a lily pad to find its food. Depend means need, okay? So this is how I need you to start thinking. You need to start thinking in terms of what living things need and what do they depend on to get that need. You take the crocodile. Crocodile. This is me making a crocodile. Or this. A crocodile needs food. A crocodile eats deer. The crocodile depends on deer for food. A squirrel eats nuts, right? Nuts comes from trees. A squirrel depends on trees for nuts. You can give me another example of something that depends on something. Okay, let me ask you a question. What do you all breathe? What do you need to breathe in order to survive? Chloe, what do you breathe to survive?
I breathe oxygen.
Oxygen. Chloe, where does oxygen come from?
Comes from trees.
Okay,
So we depend on trees to live.
Exactly. Good job, Chloe. Well done. We depend on trees to live. We need oxygen. We depend on trees to live. The same thing is with animals. They depend on other living things in order to survive. So if you were to talk about a salamander, okay? Salamander is a small little amphibian, kind of looks like a little lizard, but it's a bit more wet. Right? It can kind of live in the water. This is a Californian salamander. So they live in plants and grasses on the forest floors. How do you think they depend on the plants and grasses in the forest floor? What do the plants and grasses do for the salamander? Okay, I'm gonna help you all. Okay, so salamander is really small. It gets eaten a lot by birds. The plants and grasses hide it. Okay, so it hides there. So it depends on plants and grasses to give it shelter, to give it somewhere to hide. It also eats them as well. Okay, This is a major thing that comes up, particularly with animals and other living things, is they tend to use living things for two reasons. One, eat, or sorry, three actually. Let's go with three reasons. Eat, to survive, to hide in, or to live, okay? They rely on food, shelter, and somewhere to hide. This happens many, many ways. What you tend to see happen is that animals change the way they look, or even their behavior, in order to make sure that they can do this. They depend on what's around them, other living things, in order to survive. So, let me ask you a question. What do you depend on plants for? What do plants give you? Harry, what do plants give you?
Plants give me air.
Yeah, air and one more thing. What do plants give you? Air and food, right? Okay, so, hold on. So, these are some of the ways in which animals, including humans, need plants, okay? So, animals breathe in oxygen made by plants. Animals eat plants. Animals use plants for shelter. Even meat-eating animals need plants so that they can eat plant-eating animals. Without plants and dependence on plants, none of this would survive. So again, you have living things needing living things needing living things. And that's how it works. When it comes down to what's the idea of a producer, we're going to run out of time, so I'd quickly go through this. You don't have any homework. I'm not going to give you any homework, okay? Finish any homework I've given you for until now, get your plant project ready. For anyone that has all of that done, what I have in here is it's just an online scavenger hunt. Things that you can find and do on the internet, you may find a little bit interesting, okay? So, everyone, goodbye. Have a lovely weekend. We'll go through this again next week. See you all later. Bye, everybody.